Hello, and welcome to another episode of Untraditionally Traditional, a podcast with me, Brittany Duncan, a millennial homemaker. Join me each week as I share all the things I've learned that make keeping your home, garden, and life running smoothly, all while working. If you are enjoying the podcast, please be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcasting app so you get the episodes downloaded straight to you every Monday. Now, on to today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Untraditionally Traditional. Thank you so much, everyone who keeps showing up to listen to this little podcast of mine. I cannot tell you the joy I feel when I check the download rates and see that people are listening and coming back each week. Thank you. If you've liked what you've heard so far and would be willing to rate and review the podcast in whatever app you're using, I would really appreciate it. Today we're going to talk about cleaning. Please don't turn off the episode. I promise there's a better way to handle the dreaded task of cleaning your home. It's rotational cleaning, y'all. A little bit here and there, but something every day. That might sound like the opposite of a better way, but hang with me while I explain. If you have a house cleaner, kudos to you. This method might be a little heavier than what you need, but I believe you'll still find value in the concepts, and this method will keep your clean home lasting a little longer. Johnson and I have never had a house cleaner. Part of this is financial. Quite frankly, there are other things I'd like to spend money on than having someone clean my home. That might not be the case for you, and that's a decision that each family needs to make themselves. Johnson and I don't have children, and I can understand how families with little ones might have a greater value placed on someone else doing the heavy lifting when it comes to deep cleaning the house. With this method, I do believe that everyone can handle cleaning their own home without feeling the burden of it. As with everything I talk about on the podcast, take what you like and leave the rest. Every home, family, and situation is different, and there isn't a one-size-fits-all, but I believe this method can be adjusted to fit most needs. When I first started really cleaning our home versus making it look clean, and there is a difference, y'all, I was waking up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday to clean for 3 hours so that I wouldn't miss time with my husband. I really value quality time with my spouse and friends, and a sure way to resent cleaning is to make it a chore that requires you to sacrifice things you would rather be doing. The 3-hour cleaning on a Saturday worked, but it didn't last the way I wanted it to. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. You come home to that fresh, clean home, and then your husband decides now is the perfect time to shave, or in my case, trim his mustache. And then there goes your clean sink. Your beloved fur friends track in dirt and leaves, your kiddos drop crumbs and leave a trail of toys behind them wherever they go, and pretty quick, your house looks like the way it did before the cleaners came in, all in a span of 12 hours. For me, the time to value ratio of having the perfectly clean house that lasts for 12 hours didn't make sense. Enter rotational cleaning. So what is it? Rotational cleaning is where you have set areas or tasks that you complete each day of the week. This method allows you to keep on top of the cleaning so that your home is always presentable, but might not have that fresh Lysol, just clean scent every single day. I love it because I can devote 20 to 30 minutes a day cleaning, and that's it. There's no Saturday dedicated to scrubbing toilets and endless vacuuming. Now, I'll preface that we have a 1,300 square foot home. If you have a larger home where all areas are used, your daily allotted time might be longer, but I also have tasks on my list to keep up with our yard maintenance, so maybe it comes out in the wash. How I do it. Every day has a number of tasks for the home that pop up on my to-do list. Here's a quick breakdown. Sunday, I wash the sheets and bedding, and I weed the garden beds in the summer. Monday, I deep brush our dog Sage. I dust off our baseboards, and I vacuum. I can't say enough about keeping up with your baseboards, and it really isn't hard. I saw this trick from Vanessa Amaro on Instagram. Highly recommend following her. She is a house cleaner who has taken off on Instagram, but she shares all kinds of tips and products and tutorials to make your cleaning easier, and I learned this from her. Basically, you use a Swiffer duster, ideally one with the extended handle so you don't have to bend over, and you simply run it across your baseboards before vacuuming. If you keep up with it weekly, you don't have to get out a damp cloth and scrub them. If you haven't done them for a while, I would probably give them a solid wipe down before starting this method, but it makes it so much simpler just to keep up with it every week, dust them off, and then do your vacuuming as you normally would. Tuesday, I tackle windows, sinks, toilets, and mirrors. Wednesday is showers and the midweek vacuum. I don't do the baseboards more than once a week, so it's just a quick run around with the vacuum. You might not need this midweek vacuum, but with our beloved golden retriever, we do. Thursday, I do appliances and clean stainless steel, as well as a quick fridge clean out. I basically open up the fridge, see what's expired, what's in big containers that I can move to small containers, that kind of thing. I wipe down the inside of the fridge with a damp cloth, any spills, empty the crumb tray from the toaster, clean stainless steel, and our glass stovetop on our stove. For stainless steel, I use the Weiman stainless steel spray, and it's amazing. Once a week, I also scrub the stovetop with the Weiman glass stovetop cleaner. I cook a lot, and the glass stovetop isn't very forgiving if anything boils over. And then on the inside of our sink, I use Bar Creeper's Friend, and voila, our kitchen's deep cleaned. Friday, I vacuum again and water our plants. And then Saturday is a yard pickup, any sticks, leaves that have fallen, and a quick poop scoop for Sage. Pull any lawn weeds, and then typically Johnson will mow the lawn after this is complete. And then I have a few tasks that I add in every 2 weeks. Shine silver, call me bougie, but I do have silver napkin rings and a few photo frames that are silver that after 2 weeks start looking like they need a little polishing. When I lived in the South, I was polishing weekly because they tarnish quicker. I'm not sure if that has to do with the humidity or not, but you might find that the polishing doesn't last as long depending where you live. I also take a glance at my jewelry trays and see what could use a touch-up that's silver. The game changer for this task was Wright's Silver Cream. I was using a silver cloth for a long time, and forget that. It was way more elbow grease, and the silver cream is amazing. Honestly, I can shine my napkin rings, the photo frames, and some jewelry, everything in less than 5 minutes. And then after it's clean, I dry it with a soft cloth and put everything back, and it's a really quick task. Every 2 weeks, I also mop. I use Pine Sol and warm water in a spray mop from Amazon. It's nothing fancy, but a quick glide over heavily used areas like the entryway of the house and kitchen, bathrooms, keep everything actually clean. And then every day after I cook a meal, I wipe down the counter with counter spray and the stovetop with 409. This gets me through to the deep cleaning days. I cook a lot, and I really like starting the cooking process in a clean kitchen. So after each meal, dishes get washed, I put everything in the dryer rack, and counters and stove get cleaned. Before starting the next meal prep, I put the dishes away and then begin cooking. Now that might sound like a lot, but it's not. It allows me to dedicate a small amount of time each day and always feel like my home is clean and presentable. Not that it happens often, but our home is presentable if someone randomly stops by. I can invite them in without feeling like our home isn't making a good impression. It's less stressful also. Clutter in an unclean space can be distracting. Listen, I work from home, so it's crucial that I can focus in this space. I hate walking by a dust bunny, or in our case, sage floof, and thinking, ugh, I really need to vacuum. This method helps you stay on top of it without killing yourself all afternoon one day. I've also seen people do this by room. For me, I like doing it by task, but you might try different styles to see what works best for you. Maybe on Mondays you tackle the living room, Tuesdays you tackle the bathrooms, Wednesday bedrooms, that kind of thing. For us, tasks work better, but like I said, try and see what works for you. Lastly, I'll add that I often perform the quick pickup. For me, it takes 5 to 10 minutes, and I whiz around the house putting everything that isn't where it's supposed to be back where it belongs. It is really important for things in your house to have a home. Keys go in the bowl by the front door, laptops and electronics go in the office, sunglasses by the front door, magazines on a certain shelf, remotes in the basket under the television. You get the idea. Once things have a place, you can pick up your house really quickly. And then for those of you that have a bigger family and don't know where everything goes, you can use the basket method. Get a big basket, it can be a pretty wicker one or a unique thrifted find, and place those items that are not yours and you're not sure who they belong to into the basket. Let your family know you picked up and to check the basket for their belongings. You can also use the same idea and keep a basket at the bottom of your staircase if you live in a multi-story home. where you put everything that needs to go upstairs so you can take it up in one trip. For us, this method has been really helpful. It's really changed my mindset from honestly being a little resentful that I was spending 3 hours on a Saturday cleaning to being proud of our mostly clean home every day. Try it out and let me know what you think. I'll finish this episode with our cleaning product of the week, which I know on this particular episode I mentioned a lot of things, but this is a must-have for those of you with fur friends that shed. It's called a Chom, and it is used to get pet hair off of fabric items, sofa, dining chairs, bedspreads, you name it. All you do is rub it back and forth on the item, and you would be shocked how much hair it picks up. I usually use the Chom on our sectional on vacuum days because Sage is a golden retriever and sheds like it's her full-time job. I'll put up a video on Instagram at untraditionallytraditionalpod for y'all to check out and see how it works. And if you want to grab one for your house, there's a link in the bio. I hope this is helpful. I really want y'all to try out this rotational cleaning. Like I said, it's made such a difference in our home. I can't say enough about it. And join me next Monday. We're going to be talking about how routines give me freedom and some of the software that I use to manage everything in life. I know many of us are wives, mothers, we're working, we have a side hustle, we're trying to garden, we've got chickens, we've got all these things that we're trying to manage at once. And I have some solutions that help me keep everything organized so that I'm not overwhelmed. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Untraditionally Traditional. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it with those special people who would love it too, and write a review. For more tips and photos of my home and garden, follow Untraditionally Traditional Pod on Instagram. Until next week, let's continue to make our homes places of joy and service to ourselves and those we share them with.